Hello, and welcome to your yoga practice today. My name is Mariah, and I will be your guide through this physical asana or physical yoga practice. Today's practice is a little bit different. It's a shorter practice that is catered specifically to dealing with insomnia or any kind of sleeplessness. So for today's practice, we will still be focusing on asana, the physical yoga practice, but we'll be slowing it down and really focusing on a few different poses that will help to calm the nervous system and invite the body into a sleepless, lethargic sort of energy. Though this video is focused on the physical practice, I would highly recommend adding some lavender or chamomile tea to help your body and brain into that relaxed state. For this practice, you will need your yoga mat or whatever you use for a yoga mat, as well as either a yoga bolster or a nice thick pillow or a couple of pillows or even a thick pillow with a blanket rolled up on top. Anything that can help bring some sturdy height up from the ground to support your limbs. And now as we begin to ground, I invite you, wherever you're practicing from, whatever issues or problems you have brought into your space, whatever you're dealing with today, just know that this is a safe space for you. I welcome you. Let's start off, as always, with a brief meditation to ground ourselves for the rest of our practice. Starting off right away to help invite some sleepiness, begin by laying down on your back. And if you do happen to have any sort of comforting squishmallow or weighted blanket, or even a heavy pillow like a sandbag to place on your chest, that can help invite some sleepiness here. Keep your knees bent and feet planted, and very softly lift your hips. Squeeze your pubic bone towards your face, then release one vertebra back down at a time. This should eliminate any pinching from within the low back. Release your arms somewhere comfortable, maybe placed upon the hips. Shimmy your shoulders softly underneath you and slowly shake your head no to soften through the back of your neck. Once you've gotten to your coziest spot, start to blink your eyes closed and draw your attention into your breathing. Soften into your jawline and allow your tongue to fall towards the back of your throat. Smooth the space between your brows and through your forehead. As you breathe, begin to release all the sediments from your day. Any frustrations or doubts you may be carrying about your current sleeplessness. Notice what lies underneath all these sediments. The true essential you that remains. Let your breath come in and out of this true essence. Not any negative energy or physical body issues you may have brought to your mat. But breathing in the fullest version of yourself. Breathing out what no longer serves you. And begin to deepen your breathing. Breathing in your fullest potential. Breathing out stress, anxiety, worries about the future, worries about sleep. As you breathe here, begin to envision the circle of your diaphragm expand 360 degrees with each inhale, and compressing 360 degrees with each exhale. You inhale, your diaphragm swells, lifting your navel high, low back pressing into your mat, rib cage expanding side to side. You exhale, and the circle constricts, drawing everything tighter in towards the spinal column. You are deeply relaxed as you engage in this deep breathing. You feel nothing but gratitude for the shape of your body, functioning, utilizing its respiratory system as it's meant to. Take a few more deep breaths here, continuing to connect with the circle of your diaphragm. And pull into your mind's eye a short list of other things you're grateful for. Perhaps furry friends or people within your life. Perhaps something you encountered in your day today, or something that keeps you going. It might be something as small as what you ate for lunch, or as big as having a roof over your head. To seal in your centering and meditation, take a deep inhale through your nose and let it out your mouth. Slowly start to blink your eyes open. And taking all the time you need, return to a seated position. Let's come into our asana, or our physical practice, taking this mental focus and deep connection to the breath alongside us. Our first shape will have two different options, one a little more accessible, one a little bit less accessible. Both serve the same purpose in different ways. I'll show option A and invite you into option B. You get to decide. Option A is our more accessible option. Be a bit of a gentler shape, though it may have a little bit less strong of an effect as option B. So your first option is to sit with your legs straight out in front of you. Separate your feet until they're a little wider than your hips distance apart. Grab onto your pillow or whatever you have to create a little bit more height. Place it on top of your thighs or your knee pits, bringing some height up to you. Inhale to reach up high. And as you exhale, not reaching for anything in particular, flop forward. If possible, allow your forehead or your cheek to come onto your bolster or pillow. If that doesn't happen, you might add a little bit more height, or you can simply allow your chin to melt into your chest for a soft forward fold. Each inhale, find more length in the spine. Each exhale, melt a little further forward. Allow time and gravity to decompress your spine and let you melt forward towards the earth. You're welcome to stay here for the entirety of option B, or you may decide to take option B. For your option B, you'll want a little space up against a wall. You won't need a mat or any props for this shape. Just know that it can go pretty deep. If you have any blood pressure issues, I would recommend sticking with option A. So option B is also a forward fold, but against the wall. It can have a really deep effect on the nervous system. Come as close to the wall as you feel comfortable with. Stand with your feet a little wider than hips distance apart. Press your hands onto the wall. Take a deep inhale to grow tall, like a string is pulling you tall. And as you exhale, slowly start to hinge forward, back up from the wall if needed. walk your hands downward until you're able to fold. Slowly walk back up to the wall and press your back into it, letting your body surrender and allow the wall to carry you. If this shape feels a little too intense, you're perfectly welcome to come back to option A. This is not the place to fight with your body and force a shape that doesn't feel beneficial. It's a place to listen to the body and respect the needs it's telling you it has. If you do choose to stay on the wall, walk as comfortably close to it as you can and start to place your hands between your feet if accessible. Each inhale, think about the crown of your head coming towards the floor. And each exhale, surrender more into the wall, shifting weight into your toe mounds, letting your tailbone come towards the wall. Relax into your neck. Relax your core. Rather than clenching or tensing anything to access this shape, imagine your whole body becoming heavy, relaxed, and still. Whatever pose you've chosen, we'll take about 10 deep rounds of breath here. Breathe deeply and know you're always invited to come out of option B and switch to option A. You're halfway through. Sink a little bit deeper into the edge of this, whatever this means for you right now. Take 3 more deep breaths. Relax a little deeper. One more breath, deepest yet. If you're on the wall, slowly press into your hands, bend your knees, use your hands to walk back up the wall. You might feel a pretty big rush of blood, and a sense of dizziness. Lean against the wall and allow the dizziness to pass. If you're seated in option A, slowly curl up to a neutral seat and take a deep breath or two. All right, my loves. Now that we've gotten through the more yang or active of these shapes, let's come into the more yin or passive of these shapes. Our next shape is balasana or child's pose. Grab onto your bolster or whatever you're using as a bolster and place it with the short edge of the bolster facing towards your knees. From here, come on top of your bolster with your knees on either side and press your big toes together. Press your bum back towards your heels, making sure your pelvis is supported, and reach your hands forward until your forehead can rest somewhere comfortably. Depending on your anatomy, you might like to shift further forward or back on your bolster, perhaps even letting the chest hang off of the bolster if this is suppressing certain areas within the chest and causing discomfort. You're welcome to place your forehead down or a cheek, whatever's most comfortable for you. Begin to breathe deeply here, coming back to the circle of your diaphragm, expanding with inhales, pressing with exhales. Allow this shape to be deep and gentle, not forcing or fighting for anything. Adjust your body as needed and find some stillness. And let's take our 10 deep breaths here. Halfway through, if you're on one cheek, switch to the other and deepen your breath even more, letting all thoughts float by like clouds on a windy day. One more deep round of breath in your child's pose. Then slowly start to press up and remove the bolster out from underneath you. Take all the time you need to make your way back onto your back, with knees bent and feet planted, but this time, keep your bolster underneath your knees. If you do have any kind of squishmallow or weighted blanket or sandbag, you're welcome to place it over top of you here or on your chest. Now, from this position, start to draw the soles of your feet together and bloom your knees open side to side. This is our reclined butterfly shape. Feel free to play around with the exact placement of the bolster. Push it further away from you for a deeper stretch in your inner thighs, hips, and knees. Or maybe pull it closer towards you for a slightly gentler stretch. Find a balance in your lower body. Notice if your pelvic tilt needs any readjustment. Shimmy your shoulder blades comfortably underneath you and place your hands where you'd like them. I'll be taking one hand to heart, one hand to belly here, but you can take whatever you like. Shake your head no and start to return to stillness. Taking 10 deep breaths in this deeply calming, parasympathetic, stimulating posture. You're halfway through here. Adjust what needs to be adjusted and connect once again to that deep circle of breath, letting everything in your body soften and calm. One more deep round of breath here. And slowly close your knees together like pages of a book. Take a moment to let the echoes pass and release your feet to the floor, pressing your bolster away. Take a few deep breaths here, releasing whatever may have popped up within your musculature. Coming into our next shapes, you might like to take your bolster and place it to the left side of you, with the the long edge of the bolster facing towards you. We'll come into a supine twist here. The shape is especially good for insomnia because it gets into the vagus nerve. This is the longest nerve in our body and is highly crucial in the ways that we manage stress. So stretching it can be really great for getting us into that parasympathetic nervous system and relaxing us deeply. Squeeze your knees in towards your chest, not worrying about how far they go. And squeeze your forehead up towards your knees. Take a big breath in this compression. And breathe out, release your arms out like a T, and slowly start to drop your knees to the left. You may drop them onto the top of your bolster, or if you'd prefer, you can remove the bolster and drop your knees onto the floor if that is available to you. Notice your right shoulder. If it hasn't stayed pinned down, maybe add your bolster back, or find another way to soften this position as needed. If you'd like to stretch even further into your nerves, draw your gaze over your right shoulder and take your 10 deep breaths. Halfway there. Deepen your breathing, deeply connecting with that circle of your diaphragm. Let all other thoughts fade away. Take one more deep breath in your supine twist. And slowly pull your knees back into your chest. If you're using your bolster, gently place it to the right side of you. Then begin to drop your knees to the right, either onto the bolster or onto the floor. If your left shoulder is popping up, add more height underneath your knees so your left shoulder head can ground. For the deepest stretch into the vagus nerve, look over your left shoulder, but if that doesn't serve your body right now, it's completely okay to change it. Feel free to play with the angle of your knees. And close your eyes and take 10 deep breaths. Deeply connecting once again with the circle of your diaphragm. Allow the breath to slow and deepen more than it has through your whole practice so far. One more deep breath in your supine twist. And slowly pull both knees back into your chest. Curl up into one more big hug and squeeze your forehead towards your knees. Breathe into this compression. And breathe out to come back into a comfortable position on your back. We've been putting my yellow lab to sleep during this practice. We have one more shape to help induce the sleepiest of sleepy states. Two options for this shape, though it is very passive in both options. If you do have a wall space nearby, I highly recommend coming close to that wall space. If you do not, that's okay. You'll take your bolster, lift your hips up and slide the bolster underneath. Place it onto your sacrum, the triangular bone above your tailbone for the most comfort. From here, you can either stay here or you can softly lift your legs up to the sky. This is an inversion, a gentle upside down shape. It's really good for stress relief, coming into the parasympathetic nervous system, and for combating any sort of stressful chemicals like cortisol or any other things that might be keeping us awake. If you have a few stacks of pillows, feel free to remove a couple here. If you do have wall space, you're welcome to bring a bolster or a pillow nearby, though it will go underneath your head. The easiest way to get onto the wall is to bump one hip directly up against it. Release your back down and kick your feet up. Don't worry if your bottom is not pressing directly up against the wall. As long as you're comfortable, that's all that matters. So take your time to come up onto the wall. Feel free to place a pillow underneath your head, or once again, a weighted blanket or sandbag or even a squishmallow on top of you. You can play with some shapes here if you'd like, maybe rolling out your ankles, maybe opening into straddle or butterfly, just playing with some shapes. When you're ready to settle in, release your hands to somewhere comfortable, maybe open overhead or onto the hips or the heart or wherever else serves you. Release any hair or jewelry that may be pinching into you in your way. And soften through your shoulders and the back of your neck. We'll remain here for about 20 deep rounds of breath, and I'll guide you through some ending meditation within this shape. If you become too overwhelmed in option A, remember you can always release your feet back to the ground. Return to the deep rhythm of your breathing. And this time, instead of just envisioning the circle of your diaphragm, I invite you to envision a ball of light. This ball of light expands with each inhale, compresses and shimmers with each exhale. Currently, the light floats over your third eye, the space between your brows, and you allow yourself to connect to it. Notice the color, the size, and the temperature of your light. Is your light opaque and consistent? Or is it smoky and shimmery? Does it swirl with your breathing or remain steady, simply changing in size? Gaze upon your light. And if you'd like, I invite you to imagine a cord of energy sprouting up from your third eye, connecting you to this light like it's your guiding North Star. You feel the gentle, soothing energy of this light relax your body, beginning with your facial muscles. Softening the forehead, the eyelids, the cheekbones, the tongue and the jaw, through the throat and the back of the neck. You feel the ball of light beginning to hover over your heart chakra, over your chest, connecting with more lines of energy. It softens and soothes into your chest, your shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, pectoral tissue, shoulder heads, armpits. You feel this light connecting and soothing into your upper arms, forearms, hands and all 10 fingers, letting them grow calm, heavy, and still. This light begins to float over your navel and your diaphragm, softening into the core muscles, the rib cage, low belly, mid back, low back, the pelvic bowl and pelvic floor. It soothes and softens into your hips, into your perineum, into your gluteal tissue. You feel the light begin to hover over your legs, soothing and softening into the thighs, the quads, the hamstrings, the knees, the knee pits, shins, calves, ankles, all the way through the arches of the feet into the toe mounds, all 10 toes and the top of the foot. Breathe in this beautiful, guiding, healing light through every cell of your body. Feel the gift of this guiding North Star combined with the gift of gravity, soothing and softening into your body. Take a few more deep breaths here, taking in this calming energy. Make your breath even longer than before, lengthening especially into your exhales. And allow your body to calm and soothe. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. You're even welcome to listen out the end of the video and remain here beyond. But if you're ready to come out, softly fold your knees into your chest. If you're on the wall, roll off to one side. If you're on your mat, lift your hips and release your prop out from underneath you. I invite you to have a restful and peaceful evening, or whatever time of day it may be that you find the respite you seek. Namaste.